Today, we're fortunate to have two speakers representing the city of Manvel. One of our speakers is Mayor Debra Davison, and the second speaker is Kyle Jung, who is City of Manvel City Manager. I'm gonna read you guys quick bios on both of them, and then at that point, we'll have our first speaker come to the microphone. This first bio is about Mayor Davison. She has more than 30 years of professional experience as an ambassador and liaison to governments, businesses, and economic projects. As a senior executive assistant, she was a senior executive assistant to the former Texas Lieutenant Governor David Dewhurst. She worked for 2 decades with high-ranking government officials on his behalf and managed his personal schedule. In addition, she served as a corporate representative for the Greater Houston Partnership and the Port of Houston Authority. She became mayor and served on the city's charter commission and spent 8 years as a member of the City of Bel Air City Council. She also was an active member for the Executive Women International Organization. And most of all, she enjoys spending time with her husband, her children, grandchildren, friends, and community. The other speaker today is, as I mentioned before, Kyle Jung. Kyle Jung joined the city of Manvel in January of 2012. He has more than 23 years of local government experience, working as city of manager for the cities of Flatonia, Sour Lake, and also worked in various positions within the city of Lubbock and Big Spring, and with the Texas Municipal League, being primarily responsible for leadership of the Texas City Management Association, which has over 900 employee members statewide. Kyle earned a bachelor's degree in history from the University of St. Thomas in Houston and has a master's degree in public administration with the University of Texas Tech at Lubbock. Kyle is married to his college sweetheart, Ashley, and they have 2 children that keep them very busy. Would you guys all join me in welcoming to the microphone Mayor Debra Davison. And Kyle Jung as well.
Well, thank you very much. This is an impressive group, and we're honored to be here to let you know what's going on in the city of Manvel. Imagine the possibilities. But never forget the tagline, City on the Rise. We are certainly the city on the rise. We want to thank the Chamber for hosting this event for us. We're delighted to present our city to our community leaders and glad that they have asked us to. This year we're creating community and imagining the possibilities in Manvel. The future is still the future, but we are building it now. We're executing this Manvel vision as an ensemble. Our city council is fresh, and we spend a great deal of time discussing how to build the city today, so our future residents will be proud of what we've done. An overwhelming majority of our residents have made it clear that they see a modern city on the horizon, and I'm so glad they have entrusted us with their vision. I'm so lucky the residents have let me be a part of what they're doing. We really enjoy each other and working together to make Manvel a 21st century city. I'd like to introduce our council. I'm very proud of our council. That wasn't in the script. Not that they need any introductions. Our Mayor Pro Tem is Lorraine Hain. We also have Larry Akery, Jason Albert, Jerome Hudson, Melissa Cifuentes, and Brian Wilmer. Please join me as I tell them thank you for allowing me to serve with them to benefit our city. We've done this work on the backs of 9 mayors for more than half a century. As we move forward, we are also looking forward to their deep love and strong leadership for us. We thank these statesmen and stateswomen for their efforts to bring us to this moment. Dolores, I know you're in this room. Okay. I'm going to ask you to please stand and let us acknowledge you, Dolores Martin, my long-term predecessor and current volunteer and historian for the city. Thank you, Dolores.
Over the past several years, Manvel has been a relatively stable community. In the mid-2010 to 2015, we've had a housing boom. We've had a number of developers come to town. You can see on the slide here, the amount of ad valorem property tax value in the city has started to take off. Now we're over $750 million in value inside the city. Similarly, sales tax has also taken off in that same period. From about 2012, we were right at $1 million in sales tax a year. Over the past 6 to 8 years, it's increased by more than twofold. One of the things that is also happening, as I said, was all the subdivisions that are coming. We have a number of the developers here in the room. In the past year, we issued more than 500 new home permits in the city and the ETJ. That represented over $130 million worth of value. We also had commercial permits. So in the last year itself, we had about $150 million worth of new value coming to our community. The question is, how did everybody respond to this? Well, the residents responded to these trends and the need for the city to start managing the growth without becoming overwhelmed by it. There was always a discussion about rural versus urban, suburban, things that were going on. Obviously, the citizens were very, very vocal about this, and they told us that they wanted us to start building a modern, progressive, vibrant city that they started envisioning when they moved to Manvel. So we responded that we would. One of the things that you obviously need are people. We started building depth inside the organization. We have more than doubled the number of employees in the last 6 years. Our new budget has allowed us, the council has approved a budget that allows us to hire a captain and add 2 more patrol officers. Chief Trailer has begun popular outreach programs, including Coffee with Cops. They were working with the events task force on that as well. There's several other programs that they are working on. The police department has started a Citizens Police Academy. You need to be looking out for that. Please join us in that. There's a lot of camaraderie that's going on with that. Obviously, the infrastructure is one of the big things. This is a picture of Debra Road at the end of Debra Road, right where it intersects the American Canal. If you haven't driven down it, it's one of the major connectors between FM 1128 and 288. It's a small 2-lane road that everybody uses. The problem is everybody uses it. So we're going to have to spend about $300,000 redoing that until it actually gets built into a 4-lane road. We're finally in a position now that we're having the funding to maintain those things that are assets for the city until the development happens. One of the other things that our budget is allowing us to do is to look at upgrading and improving the parks that we do have. This is an event that was put on at Croy Park. The Croy family was a long-time family in the area. They sold the park to the city. They wanted to make sure that it was maintained as an open space and included a botanical garden in that. So, why do we need to upgrade parks, you might ask?
That's my cue. Because we have some great events there. Our events committee hosted a giant 3,000 egg hunt at Croy Park in the spring. This event had everything a spring festival should have. It had Mickey Mouse and friends, vendor booths, and lots of fun. It even included a community scramble that encouraged residents to visit local businesses with a chance to win prizes. The entire event was produced by our energetic volunteers who just want to see Manvel grow and become the town we might be imagining it to be. Then the volunteers kept going. A few months later, we had Hero Fest. We remember. You can't stop Manvel when it gets going. We had dunking booths, slides, vendor booths, city vehicles, the Cajun Navy, a Coast Guard helicopter, and yes, we even had a cannon. That's quite a lift you're doing there, Councilmember Wilmer. We've been working on this vision for more than a decade. In 2008, we had our first comprehensive plan, and then we updated it. These plans created the blueprint for Manvel's future. In it, we describe a well-planned, quality economic development sector while we try to preserve our royal character and celebrate our past. We want a variety of housing choices, so Manvel becomes the home of country living in Brazoria County. We use these principles every day as we think about the future of Manvel. Yippee! Most of you have heard about the 150 acres, but just in case you just returned from a trip to the space station, we'll give you a quick recap. Manvel has purchased an unprecedented 150 acres in the center of the city. This property is east of Highway 288 and basically, as the crow flies, across from Rodeo Palms. Because of this property, which we will discuss more, we have an opportunity to develop, design, and produce a new, modern downtown. We don't have a downtown, so we have to create one. And the idea of creating a municipal complex or center that can become the physical embodiment of a community vision. This has excited Manvel and invigorated us, so we want you to know about all of it. We are funding the possibilities for a municipal complex through economic development funds. The MEDC pledged future revenues to this endeavor because they realized that this unprecedented opportunity would never arise again. The chances of finding a large tract of land like this in the center of the city happens once in a lifetime. The MEDC was courageous, bold, and determined to execute the vision. What resulted was a multi-year pledge to fund the improvements of the 150 acres. On the 150 acres, as you may have seen on our posters, we envision amphitheaters, meeting spaces, fairs, and markets, and outdoor walking, trails and bike trails. We see a hub for civic and cultural amenities that have state-of-the-art technology to cater to the millennial style and modern expectations. Well, the millennial style, but we also want grandma in Massachusetts to be able to see her grandson play a little baseball or lacrosse or soccer. We see auditoriums for large-scale events and productions that community groups and businesses can use. We see educational programs that help parents and teachers enhance learning for children. We see children becoming lifelong learners in a diverse workforce because the city of Manvel provided them with the additional resources and tools they need to become leaders. I only mention as a caveat, and it won't make a lot of impact on many of you here, but I want to let the people know in Meridiana that we are focusing on a library also. I don't go anywhere without mentioning this library. So, courts and public safety. Our municipal courts are currently at the county. Within the 150 acres, we expect to build our own courts and public safety department. This will relieve a great deal of stress off our municipal court clerks and prosecutors who are moving the department between City Hall and the county every time we need them to have court. We will build a downtown that Manvel needs to conduct municipal business and govern the city in the manner the residents expect. We love our Croy Park and we will continue to use it. But we also have a system of ball fields for soccer, baseball, lacrosse, and softball envisioned at the 150 acres. We see tournament-size arenas, fields, stadiums for Little League and sports leagues that are feeders to larger divisions. We know this vision is long-term, so as we design the acreage, we will also be expanding City Hall. In the coming year, you will see an addition on our current building so we can accommodate city services in the short term. So while we are imagining the possibilities every single day, we have some help, and here's the team that helps the council do that. We have our commissions, boards, and corporations, where many cities have to find residents to volunteer and serve. I'm happy we have individuals who want to be part of our vision. This community is vibrant, and it has residents who want to see it shine. I thank them for all that they do. We can't do a State of the City address without mentioning those who work every day to make Manvel great. Our city departments are led by one great city manager in Kyle Jung. We have Police Chief Keith Trailer, City Attorney Bobby Gervais, Public Works Director Jay White, City Finance Director Mike Higgins, and City Secretary Tammy Bell. And before we close, we are growing so fast we can't maintain our stamina without support. Our partners are as much a part of Manvel as our staff, volunteers, residents, and council. The county helps us offer services. The school district helps us keep our residents educated. We are pleased to announce that a new elementary, junior high, and high school are on the horizon in Manvel because of the recent bond package voters approved for AISD. Congratulations,
Yes.
by the way. All right. Our special districts help us maintain infrastructure. Friesen Nichols created the master thoroughfare plan and the and the master wastewater plan. HDR created our master water plan. And Daniel Scott works with us every day on engineering projects. We can't manage this growth alone. They are vital to our success, and I'd like them to stand and be recognized. All right. I'd also like to introduce Jessica Douay. She is someone we have waited for a long time. She is our Director of Development Service and will work to ensure our growth is managed and has the best interests of our residents and taxpayers at heart. I'd like Jessica, our department heads, and all of our staff to stand to be recognized for what you do every day. Come on. I've lost part of my... Well, I know, but I have a section that I wanted to... Okay, so on behalf of our great people and all those who make it that way, our city council, thanks you again for the possibilities you give us to work with. We have an active social media presence, so follow us on Facebook for your daily dose of Manvel news, and join us while we imagine the possibilities as we create community. The page that I lost is a page that had a kind of a cut and paste because I didn't want this lady to see that I was entering her into the presentation. But I wanted to thank Lora-Marie Bernard because she is the magic behind this presentation. So without our technical support and Lora-Marie as the author, designer, and stage manager, we wouldn't come off near as slick. So thank you so, although I wasn't slick at all. But we want to thank you for coming. We appreciate you being here and listening to all the magic that we have going on in Manvel. Thank you.